Locked
This
in for
meeting
this
is being
special
recorded.
Iyovia leadership training. Drop a 3 if you understand that people are reaching high levels of success, and now the only direction is what to do with it. Where to go now that you've received it. What direction for what's coming next, and how you're going to take this to your highest height. That's what this call was designed for. That's what it was created for. Drop me the name of this call in the chat box. For those of y'all who do not know, my name is Tia Bolden, known in this industry as the Tia Bolden, globally referred for retiring from NASA at the age of 24. Thankful, humbled, and grateful to be in front of you as an Iyovia digital marketing and e-com educator, here to help you all create what I like to call the gold factory. And I want to give you all a little bit of the backstory of where this training came from. A good brother of mine, my friend, his name is G. He's an ambassador out in France. We had a conversation in Monterrey, Mexico. I said, bro, what is helping you create so much success stories inside of France? What's helping you all develop a culture of creating success? What's helping you all push things just a little bit further? And he says, sis, you've got to make your organization a gold factory. Can I get gold factory in the chat box? He said, you've got to create a gold factory in your organization. He said, if a leader goes gold, they can go diamond. If they go diamond, they can go titanium. I don't know who needs to write that down, put it in a note, put it on your wall. He told me, he said, if a leader can go gold, they can go diamond. And if a leader goes diamond, they can go titanium. So our first step here, our first line of business is doing what's required to create a gold factory. Do you all trust and believe that the information you're going to receive today can put you in position to be a part of the gold factory? Let me know. Be honest with me. Tell me now so I know which direction to take things, because I have a pretty powerful individual on the back line here to give you all some important information. But the first thing I need is your permission. I have Bougie's permission. I have Cindy's. I have Danielle's. Okay. I have Ace's permission. Awesome. And I'm really thankful and grateful for everybody who made the time to lock in here. You could be asleep, you could be doing anything right now, but you went out of your way to put yourself in position. And that's how I know you're ready for where things are going. So let's talk a little bit further about the Gold Factory. The first thing I want us all to understand here inside of the Gold Factory, unity is everything. So I want us to watch this clip really fast. And while you're watching this, let me know what emotions you feel, what it does for you. And I'm going to loop it in for how it explains to where things are going.
Running back. Play.
Mr. Cruz, I'm impressed with what you've done, but you came up short. You owe me 80 suicides and 500 push-ups. Please leave my gym.
I'll do push-ups for him. You said we're a team. One person struggles and we all struggle. One player triumphs, we all triumph, right?
I'll do some. I'll run suicides too.
Fine. Let's keep count. Call me when they're done. Come on.
Can I get the word together in the chat box? Together, TOGETHER, together in the chat box. You see, what we're creating right now, what we're doing in the United States, where we're headed inside of this entity, it's not normal, it's not regular, and it's something that's never been done before. Today, we're diving into gold leadership. And I want you all to understand leadership is not just about your personal success. It's about unity, lifting each other up, and making sure nobody gets left behind. In the scene, the first thing that the teammate said when he saw his teammate struggling, he looked his coach in the eye and he said, I'll do some. Can I get a I'll do some in the chat box? When it comes to op calls, I'll do some. When it comes to 3-ways, I'll do some. When it comes to live events, I'll do some. When it comes to home meetings, I'll do some. When it comes to sacrificing sleep, I'll do some. When it comes to giving up what's fun, giving up what's easy, giving up what we're accustomed to, I'll do some. When it comes to letting go of your pointless group chat because it has no momentum, but you know that the group is where things are headed, I'll do some. And the question for us on this call right now, locked in to create this gold factory, is what are you willing to do for the collective to succeed? If you do for yourself, you'll only be by yourself. But if you do for the team, you do for the home, you do for Iyovia, everybody succeeds. I had a powerful conversation with my brother, Mr. Marquell Ingram. I know he's on this call. I don't ever have to question it. I said, what makes you hitting diamond this time around different from the first time you did it? And he stopped what he was doing. He said, T, this run is different. He said, this is the generational one. He said, we're not shouting team names. We're not yelling inclusivity. We're pushing Iyovia and working as one. Can I get the number 1 in the chat box? Unity cannot exist without one common vision. So if it's possible in the United States, if it's possible for us to take things just a little bit further, if it's possible for us to elevate to the heights that we deserve to see, can we do it with one common vision? If you believe so, drop the word yes in the chat box, because that's what I want to uncover tonight. That's what I want to dive into today. That's what I want each and every one of us to go a little bit further into understanding. The first thing I need to know from you all, before I can take you where you're headed, before I can put you into a different position, I need to know where we are right now. We talk about one vision. We talk about one goal. We talk about one dream. And the prefix die, it means two. So when there are more than one vision or multiple visions, it leads to division, which creates division, which doesn't lead you to go very far. But when we move in unity with one common vision, we build what we like to call our dynasty. So really fast on your paper, I want you all to write down where you are now so that myself and Mr. Dani Balogun know exactly where we can take you. So be transparent with yourself, because the truth of the matter is that there's 2 types of people on this call right now. There's 1, people who are aiming to become gold, and there's 2, people who are aiming to create golds. Drop a 1 if you want to become gold, drop a 2 if you aspire to create golds. This is where we are currently, and this is where we're now going to take things. I see a lot of 2s. Ooh, so, okay. We got some 1s. Ooh, I was worried. I was going to say, oh goodness, Dani. We got some 1s. Okay, 1s and 2s. A lot of 2s. Okay, so we're in development mode, duplication mode. I love that. I love to see it. Write that down on your paper right now. Currently, I am silver. Currently, I am gold. Currently, I am platinum. Currently, I am star diamond. By the end of this call, I will take action to become a gold leader or create gold leaders. Once you write this down, take a picture. Send it to a leader that you trust. Send it to a leader that you can depend on. Send it to a leader who's never crossed you or done you wrong. See, this call for some of you is going to be your starting point, but for most of you, it's going to be your turning point. Gold is not going to happen by chance. It's going to happen by choice. Drop me a 9 if you've made that choice, if you've got the statement written down, if you're sending your text as we speak. You see, the gold level in itself, the gold level is going to require a certain level of sacrifice. So let's look at what gold requires. 10 to 12 active customers, 435 personal retail sales volume in exchange for you to generate $150 a week, $600 a month. Drop me one thing in the chat box that $600 a month can do for you. Really quickly, and this is a personal statement to you and yourself, gold. And I like to think of gold as an acronym for grind, obsession, leverage, and duplication. Thank you, Mr. Balogun. Gold is an acronym for grind, obsession, leverage, and duplication. Grind, obsession, leverage, and duplication. Grind, meaning that you have relentless execution towards where things are going. Obsession, meaning that you have belief and immersion towards the goal itself. Leverage, meaning you're not afraid to use the systems, you trust in your mentorship to get you where you're going. And duplication, the development of others. Can I get a gold in the chat box if you believe that tonight you're going to get what's required to be a part of the gold factory? Austin is ready, Zoom users ready, Tori Bell is ready, Gabe is ready, Jess is ready. Oh goodness. My newest platinum is ready. Kevon's ready, Q's ready, Crystal's ready, Tori's ready. Okay. Zion, the original Sir Diamond, is ready. Chris Robinson's ready, Chastity's ready, Jayon is ready, Madeline's ready. Okay. Danielle's ready. I think we're ready to step a little bit further into it. There are 2 key skill sets required for you to achieve gold. And after I go through these 2, I'm going to pass it off to a GOAT. But 2 skill sets that I want you all to master to achieve the level of gold. The first one is edification. Edification. Edification is simply the power of speaking highly of others. The way you talk about other people inside of this industry, the way you speak highly about the presentation, the overview, the products, the services, determine your influence and credibility inside of this industry. Drop a 1 if you understand that your edification can make or break your journey going forward. Y'all know that? Have y'all been on a call with someone who doesn't edify well? It's like jail. Literally. 3 key components of edification. Number 1, speaking highly of your mentors and your leaders. Number 2, highlighting strengths to boost confidence, utilizing positive adjectives to adhere to the things around you. And number 3, creating a culture of respect and belief with the way you edify. Watch this. Tell me the name of the best edifier you know in the chat box. Drop me the name of somebody, the best edifier you know. If you were to go on stage tomorrow, who would you want to bring you up? See, Tia, Zion, Quell, talk to me. Nano, Aaron, Matt, Rosa. Okay. Tia, Matt, Rosa, Jay, AWOL, Matt, Keys, Tia, Quell, Coach, D, Tia Bolden, Aaron, Evans, Samaya, Angelica, Marquell. Come on. The names you're seeing repeated is who you need to force to run the next edification training. That's what we need. Mark, Tia, Samaya, Crystal. Come on now. Kayla, Quell, Kay, Mark Sanders. Okay. Oh, y'all just shouting out y'all mentors, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Hey, pop your mentor. I ain't mad at you. Tia, Nano, Matt, talk to me. If you're going on stage tomorrow, who do you want to edify you? AEQ. Y'all realize something in common about all the people on this list? They're all humble. You ever notice that the best edifiers are the humblest individuals? Because edification is rooted in the heart. It cannot be fabricated. It cannot be faked. You cannot turn it on 5 minutes before you talk to somebody. So my question for every one of you all is, how do I get your name on that list? How do I make you somebody's best edifier? How do I impose on you the gold tendencies to become an incredible edifier? Remember this, or write it down. What Susie says about Sally says more about Susie than Sally. I'll say it again. What Jess says about Zion says more about Jess than Zion. What Quell says about Danny says more about Quell than Danny. Listen to me. What Bougie says about Crystal says more about Bougie than Crystal. Edify from a place of love, and it'll change the reaction and impact of all who are experiencing. Drop an E in the chat box if that makes sense. I'm going to the last E before I pass this off to a GOAT. This one is special. When I was in Dallas, Texas with Mark Aceta, he said, we need to teach the skills of network marketing. We're teaching everything except the skills. So today, the 2 skills you're learning are edification and exposure, which is known as lead generation in the skills of network marketing. Drop a 2 if you understand. You got 2 skills on 1 training, and everything Danny gives you is icing on top of the cake. Oh my goodness. Let's talk about exposure. This is where we get real. This is where I start to really get into it. Exposure is one of my favorite skills in the business. Why? Because the one who exposes the most sees the most success. Drop a 1 if you understand that exposure is the key to explosive growth. For my people who have read 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, you know exactly where I'm headed. Exposure is the key to explosive growth. Zion is nodding his head because he knows exactly what I'm about to say. Exposure is literally the door to growth inside of your business. Some of us simply are not growing enough because we don't expose enough. For some of us, the door to growth is closed because we're not exposing enough people to how this works. Here in Time Freedom Land, We travel quite a bit. Drop a 3 if you know that we travel quite a bit. You see your mentor on the move. You can barely keep up with where they're located. You have to ask them what city they're in when they get on the call because you're not even sure because they move around so much. Truth be told, I have a flight at 7 a.m. I haven't even packed. We move around a lot. And stay with me. If you've ever been on a plane, you know that the highlight is when it's time for refreshments. Some people like the takeoff, some people like the landing. But a lot of you all, you'll sleep the entire flight. But when you see the lady coming through the aisles, pushing that cart, you start to wake up. Sprite, please, Sprite. You start to wake up. And you notice that the flight attendant goes row by row, asking everybody, coffee or tea, cookies or pretzels. Some people say yes, some people say no. But the flight attendant asks every single person on every single row. Stay with me. She doesn't skip some seats and say, oh, that person may be allergic. Oh, that person may not want to eat today. Oh, this may not be for them. Oh, I'm not sure if they're ready. She goes from row 1 to row 36, saying, do you want coffee or tea, cookies or pretzels? She doesn't say, oh, this person is successful. Let me get them 3 pretzels and 2 things of juice. Oh my goodness, they have 100K followers. Let's get them on a top secret webinar so they can help me hit pinnacle by tomorrow. Coffee or tea, cookies or pretzels. This goes for my new leaders working to hit gold and for my current leaders who are creating goals as well. One of the biggest mistakes I see in this business is people prejudging and disqualifying people from success. Oh, Mark just quit his job. He probably doesn't have time for something like this. Chris is in college. His classes are taking up all of his focus. I'm not going to tell him about it. I see Natavia has a son now. She's not going to be able to get on Zoom calls. I'm not going to send anything to her. And my question is, who made you the author of assumption? Instead of extending somebody help or what could change their life, you've put limitations on them in your mind, and now you're preventing their success. How dare we count somebody else out and nobody counted us out? Nobody looked at you and said you weren't enough, you weren't able, you didn't have the time, you didn't have the money, you didn't have the funds. If somebody believed in you, why don't you believe in somebody else? Drop a 1 if you understand every single person on this call got started using somebody's link. Every one of us got involved through the understanding and the belief of somebody else. How dare you cut off that belief for the next person? You wouldn't be here if somebody disqualified you. So when it's time to ask somebody cookies or pretzels, when it's time to ask coffee or tea, why don't you just go row to row? I have leaders right now creating focus groups telling me, oh, I called this person, I called that person. And my question is, why haven't you contacted every person? Row number 1 to row 36, coffee or tea, pretzels or cookies. And what do I look like stopping the success of somebody who could come in this industry and be better than me? Exposure says this: you have to stop doubting your beliefs and believing your doubts. The same way the flight attendant moves through every single row is the same way you should be exposed in this business. And for my leaders, stop being the predeterminer of who's going to be your next runner or not. Every row, every person will help you determine who your next gold is going to be, who your next star is going to be. You just got to get in the habit of coffee or tea, cookies or pretzels. Kevon on here? Shout out Kevon. I was sorting through some qualifying questions the other day. and some things that I'm asking every customer in my business right now. Kevon, if you remember one of those questions, drop one in the chat box. I was asking through the question. She said, hey, what are those questions for? What are some of those questions that you're asking, like every single person? Kevon asks a lot of questions. I'll tell y'all that. She asks a lot of questions. Literally, every single person. Coffee or tea? Cookies or pretzels? Will $1,000 a month help change your situation? Will becoming 2 and free be something that allows you to learn at ease? Out of all the money you've had in your bank account for the past 10 years, how much of it have you multiplied? Coffee or tea? Cookies or pretzels? If you want to hit the gold level, if you want to attract 10 to 12 customers, you've got to sort fast. You've got to go through every single row, ask the same questions, and let the responses reveal themselves. Write this down. A farmer doesn't care how many seeds they plant. Shout out my brother Ron. When he said it on my car earlier, I almost fainted. I said, how did he? A farmer doesn't care how many seeds they plant. They focus on consistently planting, and they know that the soil, which is our positive environment, the sun, which is the value we provide, the water, which is the nutrients in our results, is going to grow the crop. You just have to plant the seed. Cookies or tea? Row 1 to row 36. Stop wanting to be the pilot and master your role as a flight attendant. Take it row by row, question by question. Coffee or tea, cookies or pretzels. You're going to hit goals. You're going to create goals. You're going to achieve your goals in that simple order. And one person who's achieved their goals at a high level, at an expansive rate, doing things at an area that we've never seen before is Mr. Dani Balogun. He's somebody who's been in this industry for over 10 years, taking things next level on a global scale. And now he's taking time out of his day to come teach us how he's been able to master this system. And Dani is not normal. He's not a regular person. He believes wholeheartedly that every moment waited is a moment wasted. And every moment wasted degrades your clarity of purpose. He opened up to me. He asked, he said, Tia, is Iyovia your first network marketing company? I said, yes, sir, and last. I said, yes, it is. And he said, I have to be honest with you. A lot of companies came to me asking me to lead with them, asking me to guide them, asking me to direct them. And I was most impressed with Iyovia. Can I get a this is home in the chat box? He said, I was most impressed with Iyovia because my previous company, when I was in a state of pullback, if you know, we faced quite a few pullbacks. And when he was in a state of retrace, he said the largest portion of his organization went to Iyovia. So he knew for a fact that there was something special happening over here, that the products were different, that the environment was special. And that's exactly why when it was time for his partner, there was only one decision to be made. There's a famous quote. It says, what? If you cannot beat them, join them. Can I get a this is home in the chat box? He told himself that Iyovia was the only company he would affiliate with. And now he's thankful to call this home. Dani was so excited about this call. Listen closely. He was so excited about this call that he hopped on 24 hours early. I kid y'all not. He hopped on 24 hours early. Dani's located in Dubai, okay? And last night when I sent the access, he thought the call was yesterday. So he hopped on the call, and it was when Neno and Swift are doing their crypto call. And he said, Tia, are we covering crypto as well? I looked at it, I said, no, Dani. And I realized he was on yesterday's call. And it dawned on me in that moment. If Dani Balogun can show up 24 hours early to provide us some value, can we give him 100% of our focus, 100% of our action, 100% of our attention towards what's required to create a gold factory? If it's a yes, help me by dropping hearts. Help me by dropping trophies. Help me by dropping emojis. Help me with some flames and show excitement in the chat. Your keyboard should be breaking as I welcome the king of duplication himself, teaching us what's necessary to create a gold factory in the United States, none other than our very own VP of Global Expansion, the man, the legend, the myth himself, Mr. Dani Balogun. Dani, I know you're about to give us what we need. I love you, bro. It's off to you, king.
Wow. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Obviously, for me, it's 6:30 in the morning right now. You know, I'm here with a smile on my face. Wow, Tia, you speak about edification. That is an edification. Please give it back for my girl, Tia. It's amazing to see you on the stage, man. I've literally, I've literally been waiting for this call, guys. It was really, it is really an honor for me to be here amongst all these superstars. All these aspiring pinnacles. I see beautiful faces in the chat. Claudia, Zion, Jess. Amazing, good to see you guys. Chris Robinson, Rossi, Cindy. I'm not gonna mention all 82 people, but I see you guys. It's amazing again to have you guys here. I'm truly honored to be part of this amazing family as well. And again, I'm going to give it back to Tia. Again, your edification was top notch. I really love that. But obviously, I seen you on the stage. I think it was in Monterrey for the very first time when I got to the convention. I think it was still I am then, and I saw a lot of speakers, but one of the people that really stood out was Tia, right? A black powerful woman on stage, crushing it. I was I think I was sitting next to Matt, and I was like, hey, who is that? Like, yeah, that's Tia, right? She's my sister, man. And he mentioned that obviously part of a big organization, the whole organization left, but she was the only one that actually stayed, and she rebuilt everything. So I've been hearing about you, Tia, for a very long time. I've been observing. I think we saw each other, quickly at the Monterrey event as well. I think we shared some words, but you always stood out to me. And again, seeing you on this call on this early morning for me, giving all these nuggets, getting people fired up. I love it. I really love it. And it's funny because I'm from the Netherlands, and in the Netherlands we always have this thing towards Americans, right? We always tell each other, like, oh, don't be so American, because Americans, they're always hype, they're always excited, like literally they're always just putting fire, 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 fire. And it's kind of funny because now I'm literally on the call, and I was kind of tired because literally Tia knows. I think 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, I had another call, for the European market. I literally slept on the couch here in my office just to make sure that I was awake. Because yesterday, literally same time, I woke up at 5:45 just to make sure to be on the call. Was there, stood up, water here, joined on the call, and I saw Neno speaking. I'm like, all right, cool, solid. And then bam, before you know, he just off the call. So I was confused. I'm like, yeah, what's happening here? So I texted Tia, yo, and I called her. And then she just obviously mentioned, yeah, you know what, it's it's the next day, right? Because 10 p.m. on Tuesday is obviously the next day for me. So today it's Thursday, 20th of March right now, 6:30 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, Nano, I was plugged in the call. I saw you a bit, Nano, so it was good. Obviously seeing you speaking as well. But yeah, it was a very interesting morning yesterday for me, and now we're here again. But again, I'm happy to be here, guys. I'm really grateful to be here, and I'm gonna basically start off, to share a little bit, background information about myself. Because we're gonna have a conversation here. It's not just I'm gonna just train you guys and just share some thoughts on the Gold Factory. I want to have a conversation with you guys, from brother to brother, from brother to sister, cousin, uncle, whatever you want to call me, right? But more importantly, I want you guys to get to know me. And more important than that, I want you guys to also understand what my philosophy is, right? And the reason why I'm saying philosophy, because in life we are judged by our philosophy, not by the things we say or we do. Eventually, our philosophy is going to test who we really are in life, right? I've been seeing people saying A and B and C, but eventually doing something totally different. And your character eventually is the only thing that will actually stand out. Then things are turning, a bit difficult or challenging, right? Now, who am I? As I mentioned earlier before, I'm from the Netherlands. That's where I grew up. Originally, I'm Nigerian. I schooled in the Netherlands. As a matter of fact, I hated school always, and school always hated me as well. I knew from a very, very young age that this is not going to be my path in life, right? Going to school and then studying, and obviously, you're all, especially African parents, they always want you to either become a doctor, a mechanic, or a lawyer. I was none of that. I was not interested at all in all of those things, right? And if you know African parents, when you say you want to be part of the Dutch army, the military, then that's like a disgrace for them, right? Like, they don't want to hear anything about that. But for me, I just really want to be part of the special forces in the Netherlands, right? I've always seen these videos, people jumping out in the planes with the parachute on, Delta Force. You guys have that, in the United States. So I was always very inspired by that. So at one point, I just did my application and went over there and just applied to become a part of the special forces in the Netherlands. Right now, I got rejected 3 times. That's another story. I'll keep that story for another time. But eventually, after 3 times, you have to wait for a whole year in order for you to come back again. So that actually tells you how consistent and persistent I was in order for me to really, join the military. But eventually, I was part of the Dutch military. It was one of the best decisions in my life, one of the best times in my life. That's where I really became a man, right? I really became a man in the military. I grew physically, emotionally very stabilized. Mentally, I really grew, but eventually not financially, right? But you guys probably already know you don't join the military because you make money. You join the military because you want to, get some discipline. You want to, become someone, a man of value, man of statue, all of those kind of things, right? And again, till this day, I am still grateful, incredibly grateful for being a part of yeah, actually to have experienced for a very solid portion of my life, being part of the Dutch Special Forces, right? From the discipline, from the travels, from the things that I've learned from my very first mentor, that was obviously my sergeant. All those things, all those nuggets that I've learned over there, I'm still implementing today in my businesses, in my network marketing business. Even in educating my kids, literally everything, right? Speaking about that, I'm a family man. I've got a beautiful wife, got 3 kids, got different businesses, got a real estate development company in the Netherlands, a Caribbean place called Curacao, and in Ghana and in Nigeria. I lived for the past 4 years in Ghana because my wife is Ghanaian. And I recently, moved to Dubai. It was in somewhere in July, this year. So yeah, I'm now in Dubai. Definitely amazing, being part of again Iyovia at this stage of my life. But how it basically started, as I mentioned earlier, before I got introduced in this industry back in 2012, whilst I was in the military, and I got invited by someone who was part of my group. The guy that was in my platoon called me up on a Friday evening and asked me if I, could come tomorrow to a business opportunity meeting in Amsterdam, right? I asked a lot of questions, and he basically responded with four things. He said, "Please trust me, just come." Right? So, all right, cool, bet, no worries. I'll be there. Make sure it's my time worth it, because in the military you got Monday to Friday. You're in the military on a military base, and Saturdays and Sundays are your only free days. So for me to basically come to Amsterdam on a Saturday morning to see some information, something that I've not even heard about, tells a lot about sacrifice, sacrifice, right? Um, so eventually I came, I saw the presentation. I was, mm, I was, I wouldn't say excited, but I was open. As again, in the military, you get a lot of stuff, but you don't really grow financially. So I was open to make some extra money to pay off my debts, because I had some debts, and make some extra couple of €100 next to my salary. I think I understood about 20% of the presentation that the presenter was, explaining. But one thing I really understood, and that was residual income, right? Guy was continuously talking about, yes, how will it be? Because now you're working actively, you get active, you put in hours, you get some money, you put in hours, you get some money, you put in hours, that's where your salary comes from. If you work, you get money. If you don't work, you don't get money. How about residual income? You do something once and you get paid every single month. And I'm like, hey, this sounds incredible, right? Doing something once and get paid every single month. I literally started straight away. I had the money that time. I had to borrow money. It was about 400 to 500 euros that time. I had to borrow money and got started with the intention just to make a couple of €100 next to my salary in the military at the time. I think my salary was around, what was it, 1,500, 1,600. So if I could make an extra €500, hey, I was happy. Pay off my debts a little bit, and then eventually see just how it will go. Fast forward, I became within my first 30 days. It's something similar to gold, right? Make my first couple of €100. And I actually started to become good in it. And the reason why I started to become good in it is because, and this is very interesting, guys, pay attention. I went very fast, not because I understood the system. As a matter of fact, I did not understand the system, but I listened to my mentor at the time. He just told me, do this, do A, B, C, D, and E. I said, I don't want to know all these things about the legs and all the points and all what I need. I got here, started. I want to make money. Just show me how I could make money ASAP. That's it. So just tell me step by step. Like my brain works differently. I said, I use my brain not as a storage, but I use my brain to think. So just tell me what I need to do to come to that position. I make an extra couple €100 or €1,000. That I'm good. And because I did not understand everything, I didn't just go out there and just try to, invent the wheel myself. He literally told me, do this A, then B, then C, then D. And that's the reason, literally, that's the reason how I became that position within my first 30 days. The first 30 days are very, very important. I'm gonna get you guys through a system that I've been working for obviously the past decade, and I've been using it every single time when I'm starting up new people. Now, obviously, for me, my very first position was really how do you say that? I became very confident because now I saw what I needed to see, money in my pockets. So at least now I understood it's working, right? Eventually, I saw other people in my organization and around me also starting because they could see Dani is getting confident, Dani is getting some, he's getting some excitement, and he's moving forward. 6 months forward, I became a position close to, I think, close to titanium, right? Quit with the military, and fast forward within my first year within that company, I became the top position of regional vice president, the top position in the compensation plan, and I was that time the first and the fastest young black regional vice president in the whole region, in the whole of Europe at that moment. And that was the first time I really tasted success in life, right? Everything started changing for me. Paid up my debts, could retire my family. I really, really, really understood how it was to actually start from nothing and became something. I always had a quote back then: I came from nothing and I'm coming for everything, right? I think my promotion is still on YouTube. If you type my name, you'll find it. It was a very funny story. And as a matter of fact, by then I didn't really speak English, so my English was a little bit it's kind of funny though. But you'll find out. Then that was 2012, 2013. I built my organization, grew my organization, and this is what you guys need to understand. Right now, within this company, Iyovia, you got what? 3 legs, correct? With that company, you didn't have 2 legs, 3 legs, not 4 legs. As a matter of fact, even 5. You had to build 6 different legs in order to reach that position that I hit. I'm telling you, 6 legs in order for you to actually become that position that you could, see some substantial results, right? So for me, knowing that I had to build actively and recruiting actively all over again, all over again, all over again. That's what I told on the call yesterday as well. Every no builds your personality, and every yes builds your business. 2014 was a very challenging year for me. Although I was at the peak of my momentum, what happened? Yeah, someone said, Lord, sorry for complaining. I'm going to tell you a very funny story. So what happened? I was at the peak of my momentum. Everything was going well. Got leaders on leaders on leaders on leaders, right? Because I had a system that I always made sure, and I'm going to explain to you guys as well. I had a system that I made sure that the people underneath the other people were also ranked up, because you never know who's going to quit. Then you always can work with another one. So I had a whole layer of leaders. And that's the system that I always like to work with, because again, if you lose one leg, you have to just go there, fill hold there, fill hold there. So I just built one leg very strong, then build another leg very strong. Like, make sure you build the legs, they're very strong rooted. So if someone quits, you just build another game, someone only need it, right? So I built that throughout my first years, very, very strong. And then what happened? The moment, and we have this sentence, this slogan in the Netherlands, um, high tree catch a lot of wind, right? Again, I was in a peak of my momentum. And then another company came around. It was around 2016. And yeah, I had a very interesting time. I saw some of my leaders not responding in the group chat anymore. And you already know what time it is, right? They don't respond in the group chat. They read everything, and you don't see them on events anymore. And all of a sudden, they just leave the group chat, out of the Facebook groups. When you call them, they're very hard to reach. I'm like, what's going on here? Then I saw a guy from the United States, short guy, doing events, first in America, then in Europe. This guy has been recruiting my people. And the guy goes by the name of Matt Rosa. I'll never forget. I'm like, who the hell does he think he is? Coming to my market, stealing my people. And he stole all my people. Guys, you have no idea how cursed I am during 2015, 16, 17, 8. Like, my whole team literally left and they all joined IM. I was furious. And that was a time because when you have an organization and when you've created, a very solid group of people that understand network marketing, and then IM came. There was another company that came, and everyone started just shopping in your organization. I was furious. And again, think about it. You had to build 6 legs, and all these legs were crumbling, 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 crumbling. And I was pissed. I was really pissed. So I had to rebuild again. 2016 was my rebuild year, literally. I had to rebuild. My best friend left to another company as well. You saw, you know what? This Matt Rosa and Jason and Alex and all these guys, they just literally shop and it took all our biggest leaders. So I rebuilt. If you can't beat them, join them. Yeah, yeah, it's a very ironic story. Me being here right now telling this story from the other side. So eventually, built my organization again, and I built a whole new team. I'm telling you guys, I had to rebuild everything again, and my team started picking up again, right? And I really started with the propaganda. Don't join. I am those people, not real people. Yeah, I was literally trashing the company because in my mind, I'm like, yeah, one day I'm gonna do the same thing what they did to me. And eventually, 2017, the compensation plan changed in the company. A lot of things changed in the company, and the good thing was I was making a lot of money. And this is one of the most important things, right? What I always understood is the philosophy of residual income. So I started to basically look into not into other companies or look into other businesses because I wanted to, still make residual income. And I started with real estate, and it was in 2018. Started my own company, um, traveled to Africa, built my own office over there, went to the Caribbean. Fast forward, my company right now, we've got, I think, about 70 employees, um, spread over the Netherlands, the Caribbean, Ghana, Nigeria, and now in Dubai as well. Doing very well. And I never really just quit. I just transitioned into a businessman. I started, my own company, and that's basically how I kind of left the industry, right? And I was out for a couple of years. I was always observing what was happening in the industry, right? Because I was always referring back to network marketing as the company, the industry that helped me become the person I am today, right? So in every podcast I had, in every interview that I did, I always, refer back, to network marketing because that's how I started. That's how I got started. The military and network marketing, those are the 2 journeys that really helped me become the person I am today. Fast forward, I even consulted for some network marketing companies, but I never really came back in the industry like the way I'm coming back right now with Iyovia, right? There's some consultancy for some companies left and right in the past few years. All of a sudden, it was last year. I got a phone call from a friend of mine, and he said, Dani, let's jump on a call. No, he first said, let's meet because he wanted to start his own network marketing company and he needed funds, right? So like, Dani, can you help invest? Because I want to start my own company. And I'm like, okay, let's sit down. We sat down. I went through the numbers. I'm like, you know what? I could invest in you, but I'm not gonna, be part of but owning a network marketing company because the headache and the hustle is not something that I'm really looking for. And I obviously have my own companies as well. So for me, doing that, it doesn't really make sense, right? And he left me alone for a couple of months, and all of a sudden he just ring me up again. Dani, what are you doing tonight? Can we jump on a call with some of the people that I've met? Um, he said investors, we can invest together in something. If I think about it, it was a very tricky one. If I think about it again, and then eventually he sent me the link, and he put me on a call, and I saw three individuals on the call, and one of them was Matt Rosa. And I looked at the screen. I'm like, interesting how life turns out. And Pat probably had no idea he knew who I was, but he had no idea that a big portion of my life I was just cursing this guy out, literally. And I'm sitting there, this guy with his white feet, tattoos everywhere. I was just wearing my suit because I always like to wear suits. I'm like, listening to what the guy is saying. I'm like, yo. At one moment, I said, I've listened to what you guys said. Matthew Rosa. Guy, you gave me a run for my money, man. And I said, what do you mean? And I just spit the beans and I told the whole story. And this guy started laughing, man. He started laughing and we laughed. I mean, both laughed, as a matter of fact. And I said, but I have to respect you guys because I love the industry, but I just hated the players. You guys literally, you, I cursed you all for a very long time. And now, you guys on the call. I have to respect you guys, but it's not something I would like to join. But I really liked what you guys did because you guys had a strong culture. You guys had, were the first company that brought financial education trading with network marketing and actually withstood the test of times, right? You guys withstood the test of times. Of the years, you guys been through all the shit, all the mud, all the rocks, all those challenges, and after these years, you guys are still here. So I respect you guys. I have to give it up for you guys. Right? Like I really, really, really respect you guys, like sincerely. Same way like I respect all these other, OG companies like Herbalife, like Tupperware, like Amway, because they have paved the way, right? So we laughed about it and we stayed in touch. I did say, you know what? I am such me right now. I'm in a different stage in my life. And as a matter of fact, I'm actually looking to invest, into other companies, into people like, the guy that actually got me on this call. So well, let's stay in touch. And we followed each other on Facebook. It was last year, guys, last year. And we stayed in touch. And funny enough, this guy, he just follows up with people and he'll send me, hard eyes, my stories, and we are just, we kept in touch. And he said, Dani, I know you actually mentioned that this is probably not the time, but there's a convention in Nice, in Monterrey, and I would like you to be my guest. To be my guest, in Mexico. I'm like, all due respect, my brother, but I'm not looking into joining on the company at this moment, right? I said, no, 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 just come over, trust me, just come. I'm like, I've heard it before, and I said, but I don't want to create any false expectations, right? Me joining to the convention does not mean me joining the company. And eventually we talked, we spoke, and I flew and I flew over all the way to Monterrey. It was in November. Came to the convention. I saw a lot of people. I saw Kurt Cobain. I saw like Tia's team, people on stage. But I was very conservative. I was wearing my suit, sitting there nicely. And yeah, I was saying Mexico was a game changer. Well, the funny part is I was not really fazed by the hype and excitement because I'm very big on emotional intelligence. I'm a thinker. So I'm like in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I know what you guys are doing, trying to like, let, let me feel good. Chris came to me, oh, nice suit. How are you doing, brother? I'm like, yeah, all good, all good. Jason came, oh, everyone was looking nice. Kurt Cobain came to me. Funny enough, he took a picture, posted on his Instagram, so I reposted it. A lot of people were like, oh, Dani, you joined I Am. I said, nope, I did not join I Am. I'm just here to, to see. I just love the environment. I love the culture. So it was all good, man. I met Nano, we were chilling, we were just talking, speaking about obviously network marketing. I'm like, in my mind, I was very neutral. And then bam, that's when it happened. Matt came, got me, to the side, like, hey, you know what? Chris wants to talk to you. I'm like, Chris want to talk to me. Ah, bet, no worries. Came in the room, bam, Chris, Ari, Jason, that time, Alex was sitting there, ironically. And we had all these people sitting there. And like, yo, Donnie, and they were all sitting like this. Yeah. So what do you think? I'm like, looks like a setup. I'm like, yo, what's going on, guys? Like, yeah, just want to know what is it, what you think, and do you like it? I said, this is my first day, guys. I'm just just listening to the environment. I love the way you guys are doing events. It's very important, because nowadays you don't really see events like this anymore. I love the culture, and yeah. And Chris said, I love your suit, and he gave me his what's it called in English, like the pochette, right? Yo, he gave it to me from Hermes. Like, yo, in my mind, I was thinking like, it's like you're just flying someone over to a holiday destination, a vacation, trying like, what are you trying to do, man? I'm like, I'm just coming here as a guest, and you guys all winding me up. I'm like, interesting, man. So in my mind, I kept my guard a bit up, right? And the second day, same thing. Sit there, Metal sitting next to me, asked me all these questions, and I think that was the day that a lot changed, right? Because for me, then obviously you're surrounded with the people, you hear the stories, and I saw people on stage, right? I saw I think the lady Aurelius, one of the educators. I saw Tia on the stage. I got all the promotions, and yeah, it kind of had an impact on me that moment, right? Eventually, the last day, Chris said, why don't you just spend some more time together? Um, we had a conversation about some other leaders. And you know what? Let's meet in Mexico, in Cancun, because we were in Mexico, Monterrey, and we met in Mexico, Cancun. That trip in Monterrey, yeah, Chris Terry to go. You know what he's doing. That trip, the 3 day trip in Monterrey, eventually got extended for another week in Cancun with all these people at the same table. Chris, Ari, Matt, Jason, all of them were in Mexico, and they really worked their magic on me over there, right? But one thing what really stood out to me was this. Chris said to me, Danny, the company is not perfect right now. You've seen what we've done in the past decade. We had our challenges, whether it was legal, whether it was people leaving the company, coming in the company, but we we like to have you here in the company, and like, what is it what you can do for us? And my response was very calm, and I said, you know what, Chris, I don't know if I'm the guy to help you guys where it is where you want to go, right? I've spoken to a lot of leaders. I've spoken to all these companies, whether it was GFU, whether it was economy, whether it was My Daily Show, all these I've spoken to these companies, I've spoken to the leaders, right? I know the leaders. I know David very well. I know all these other guys, and I've known them for a lot of years, right? So I asked a lot of questions, right? And I said, Chris, honestly speaking, I'm not here to negotiate anything or get a deal whatsoever. If I can be of help to you guys, because you guys literally gave me a run for my money all these years, and if there's a company that I really respect, that is I Am, right? And you guys have we had a blueprint. You guys, did well for all these years, and you guys are still here. So you 100% have earned my respect. And he literally asked me, "So can you help us?" And I think that particular sentence, "Can you help us?" That's when I, pulled down my guard and I was listening. I'm like, "Yeah, vulnerability, of course, right?" I'm like, "Okay, cool." Because for me, when you ask for help, you're not trying to be slicky, even though obviously you're working on me. It's all set up thing. Like again, I understand everything, right? But at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, I can see where the company is right now. Um, yeah, I love the culture, and the culture, especially Tia and her organization. I think that was one thing that really stood out because in the Netherlands, that's not really a big black community at all, right? And seeing her and a group and everyone coming together, that really stood out. Obviously, all the other nationalities, everything combined, the whole culture together, right? That was really something that I really it stood with me. And I spoke to Chris about a lot of stuff, right? And that's the moment when I decided, you know what? Okay, cool. I went back home. I started thinking. I'm like, okay, cool. Chris started working out with me again, calling me every day. So yeah, it's actually Tia. You guys need to thank Tia because she's actually probably to know one of the reasons that I actually started considering, working with you guys. And that's how it started diversity, right? And her openness, the way she speaks, the way even though the way now she opened the call, she might not know it, she might not even understood it, but that's very important. The power of testimonials, the power of inspiring people. I don't measure someone's success based on the amount of money he or she makes. I measure someone's success based on the impact he can make on the people around them. And that is what Tia and a lot of others has done during that convention as well. That being said, that was basically my story coming into the company. And now you've heard it from a different side of the story, right? You probably have seen me, on social media. You've probably seen me, maybe on stage, on stage, but at the convention. But now you actually hear the backstory about it, right? I'm gonna speak to you guys about the importance. 1 second, I'm gonna share my screen and the culture that I was able to build with yes. If you guys can see this, kindly drop a 7 in the group because I want to make sure you guys can see what I see, right? All right, say no more. Perfect. Great. So for me, speaking with Tia in the past couple of days, right? Because obviously I did my introduction. We spoke about different stuff, right? And she doesn't even know until now probably that she made a huge impact during that convention in Monterrey in my decision making, whether to work with Iyovia or not. And when she spoke to me like Dani, I want to have you on the call with my team. And she came well prepared with a whole list of things. This is what I like preparation. I always say preparation prevents poor performance. And this is exactly why I like to work with Tia, because the way she came up with all this, then this conceptualization, and this, I'm like, wow, yo, that's actually someone that knows what she's doing. And I always say this, right? In this industry, you need a mentor, 100%. But more importantly than you need a mentor, you need someone who actually has some experience in going through challenges, someone who understands what it is to get beaten down, someone who understands how it is to grow through the shit, to the mud, to the stones, to the rocks, to get to the gold, right? Because eventually, you guys probably already know, gold, diamonds, like certain minerals, you can't just get them. Oh, here, let me just go to Africa and get some diamonds. Let me go to Sierra Leone and get some diamonds. Let me just go to Ghana and get some gold here. No, you have to dig for it. You have to really go through the mud in order for you to get the gold. Yes or yes, 100%, right? So I understand the whole essence of the essence of getting a gold factory. Because at the end of the day, if you see what it is that I've built over all these years within network marketing, what Tia's built, what all the leaders that built, what Matt Rosa and all the other amazing, people like Menor and all the other guys and girls have built that hit, 6, 7, 8 figure ranks. It's all accumulation of a certain building stone. And that building stone is called gold, right? If you can become gold, you can become diamond, you can become titanium, you can become star diamond, you can all these. You guys know this. This is just this is basic, right? But even this basic, you guys need to understand this. Knowing and mastering are two different things. Don't ask yourself, do I know the information? Do I know how to create momentum? Do I know X, Y, Z? Are you actually doing what they're talking about? Is the question you should ask yourself, right? Because I've been in a situation where I went to presentations and to events, and I was just sitting there and I told my mentor, I've seen this shit 10 times, 20 times already. It's okay, but if you've seen it, why are you not ranked up right now then? And I was quiet. He said, if you are not standing in front of the room teaching others, you are sitting in the room learning from others. I'm like, yeah, makes sense, right? Because mastering and knowing are two different things. Are you a travel agent or are you a travel guide? What do I mean by that? A travel agent can tell you, go over there. A travel guide will tell you how to come there. 100%. Because he's been there. He'll take you there because he actually has been through those steps. Very important to understand. Now, when we speak about momentum, because I'm going to get to the point, guys. If we speak about momentum, let me just get some water. 1 second. Seconds.
Fam, while we wait, please make sure that we're getting positive content and launching Danny on social media out of appreciation. His Instagram is self-made Danny. Please get some content up and show love.
Yeah, sorry guys, I got some water. Early morning. Right. So when it comes to momentum, what does momentum actually mean? Well, momentum means a lot of new excited IBOs following the system and getting results. That is what momentum is. A lot of new excited IBOs following the system and getting results. You guys got Tia. If there is someone who actually understands systems, and I've seen her work, because I'm a level guy, I just do my research on people. I observe, I check what they do, what it is, what brought them where they are right now, and if it worked, right? And I can definitely tell that it's working what she's doing. So follow system will get you the results. Goals factory formula. Now, I always work with 3 P's. Write down 3 P's. Production, promotion, payouts. Production, promotion, payouts. That's how it works. I build a compensation plan where if you did not work correctly, you couldn't get paid out. You needed to produce. And if you produced, you got promoted. And with that promotion, there's a paycheck with it. Same here with Iyovia. You need to produce in order for you to get promoted. And if you get promoted, you know that's the result of producing because you're not going to be promoted if you're not producing. And if you get promoted, guess what? You get paid out. But more importantly, your team is getting paid out as well. And if you're getting paid out, what? It creates excitement because you know that I've got some results from the work that I've done, which is promoting people, make sure that they are getting paid. And now that comes back to production, right? If you have a good month, potentially get a good quarter. If you get a good quarter, get a good year. Break it down in steps. And that's what I've always done throughout my business, making sure that I'm breaking it per month. Having a good month does not always mean that you're having a good year. Having a good year overall, if you break it down to all these months, you'll have probably an average or more than average month, or a quarter. So it's very important to make sure you keep producing. But what's important, more important than producing? You need to make sure that if you're running towards something, sometimes you've got to accelerate. You cannot keep, how do you say it in English? When you're first gear, right? Like it's gonna like, and then you have to accelerate and go to the second step, right? Now you get accelerate and you go to the second step and to the third and fourth and fifth, right? And that is exactly what you need to do in this business with this compensation plan. You cannot run just forward without looking back. You have to watch, consolidate, reshift, and go and forwards, right? That's how it works with this compensation plan. I'm going a little bit deeper in it as well, because how it works, in order for you to get fire, step one, get matches. If you have matches, lit the fire, go to a big chunk of wood and throw it over there. No way on this earth that it's gonna lit fire. Yes or yes? You have to first get some matches, work on a small, tiny tinders. That's where you get some little bit of smoke, and then you go to step two. Step two is bring in the kindling, more of the bigger woods, which trickle down, and you see more smoke and grow, right? You're building, you're fueling it. Because eventually it's getting bigger and bigger. But now it's getting bigger, you need to have the proper woods and put them on the fire. Because that's the only way how you can make sure that the fire keeps on. Does it make sense? This is how you create momentum. Because if you don't do this, it's not gonna work. You have to start small daily routines. That's how you create. You cannot chew a whole horse at once. Small bites, and that's how you build up. Same with this business. Now, this is what you guys need to understand, because we're getting there. You've probably seen this picture a lot of times. You got a boss and you got a leader, right? There's a huge difference in someone telling you, yo, go and do this. Or someone saying, you know what, let's go and build. There are two types of leaders. Somebody's telling you like, yo, why should have two types of leaders? There are two types of rulers. You got a boss and you got a leader. Someone who's been there will always come back to show them, I've been on the top, it's the route, and I'm gonna bring you guys up again. Instead of letting someone else carry you all the way to the top as a glorified, whatever you want to call it, right? Let's keep it nice today. But it's very important that you understood the difference between those two. Now, take a picture of this because this is incredibly important. This is a bridge. And the moment you sign up new people, let's say, for instance, today, I meet Zion. Zion comes to presentation, bam, got exposure, right? Zion sees the presentation, gets to hear about the opportunity. The first few days are incredibly important for Zion as for me. And why is that, Zion? Because I always tell people that I work with, within your first 24 hours, you're gonna lose motivation.
Hey, Danny,
yeah,
I think they're looking for the slides. Is this the one that's a bridge? Or is there another one? Number one?
Oh, is that a slide?
No, we only see the main screen that you were showing us.
Wow, something went wrong. You see it? Ah, got it. Yeah, so it's a bridge, right? Very important. Zion, see the presentation, got exposure. My task is to make sure that Zion gets all the information that he needs in order for him to make a decision whether it works or not. I introduce you to a mentor. I introduce you to the upline. I make sure we do a combo lock. What's the combo lock? Combo lock is a 1-2. Hey, Jess Torres. Jess Torres is my mentor, my upline. Zion just came to the presentation. He's my guest today. I want to make sure that Zion understands where he is today. And I'm going to tell Zion, Jess is one of our mentors. Jess Torres is my mentor, and she is my upline, and I will edify her. Now, this is very important for you guys. If you do not know the backstory of someone, I could tell, for instance, let's say, let me just pick someone, right? Let's say we've got Alex Swift, right? Alex Swift, I've never heard about Alex Swift, but I do know there are 4 types of people in this industry. You got the sharks, you got the urgents. You know, you guys know the types, right? You guys know the types? Shark, urgent, will, and dolphin, right? I don't know who my guest, what type of individual my guest is. But in order for me to make sure that Alex is being edified well, I would say Alex is an individual that I've been working with for the past couple of months. Someone that knows everything about the business, which is an urgent. So if I need to know something, Alex is definitely the guy I'll go to. He is the guy I can laugh with. Obviously he's a hard worker, but he's really fun to be around. Dolphin. But at the same time, this guy had hit ranks in a very short period of time. This guy is making money. He's teaching people how to make money. He's really crushing it. And more importantly, this guy is always willing to help. No matter where he is, he's always willing to help and out there making sure that we are getting what we need to get. Now, I've literally mentioned all the 4 types, from urgent to will to shark and to dolphin, without even knowing Alex, right? But I've edified him. So my guest right now understands Alex is a person of value. Yes or yes? Bam. Now everything what Alex is going to tell my guest is going to have an impact. I am not going to tell anything to my guest. Why? Because he is my friend. He trusts me, but he don't respect me. He trusts me as his friend, but he does not respect me as a businessman. Why? Because he and I literally just went out yesterday. I did not talk about business, and now all of a sudden I'm gonna act like an upline. It doesn't make sense. That's why I need a third party. That's why I need to edify Alex to make sure that Alex can make an impact on my new guest. Guys, does it make sense? Yes or yes? And that's the importance of the very first step. On the bridge, exposure. Now, between exposure and leadership development, you can see there are a lot of holes, right? All these holes are there within the very first 30 days. The first 30 days, guys, are extremely important. I hope you guys stay with me, because this is very important, because this is really going to determine whether someone is worth your time or not, whether someone's going to quit in the first 30 days or not. It all depends if that person passes the bridge. Now, the next step, within 48 hours, we need to make sure that our new superstar, Ricardo Pine, is launched. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to launch Ricardo into the business. I'm going to make sure that Ricardo sees what it is, what he needs to know, how to get qualified, how to get his first customers, how to get, how to make sure that he gets his first, a home meeting, how to make sure that he gets his first people to the event, how to make sure he gets his IPO back. He needs to understand what it is, what his business is about. Within the first 48 hours, he needs to get launched. Then within the next first 2 days, you need to have a new IPO and new customers as soon as possible. Why? Bam. So that make sure that Mr. Ricardo gets some results. He needs to get results, because the sooner he gets results, the sooner he now understands, hey, this is working for me. Yes or yes? Because we are going to prepare him for the next step. Because the next step, we have to make sure he comes to an event. Within the first 5 days, he needs to have some social proof in SAP. Otherwise, what? He will fall in the black hole, as you can see, right? Because if you fall in the bridge, there's a hole in the bridge, and eventually, if you fall in the black hole. Black hole, you're out. Yeah, just remember that. Black hole, you're out. Social proof, whether it's a Zoom call, whether it's a physical event. I prefer physical events because obviously the energy is different, right? You get testimonials, you get inspiration. There's social proof. He can see, you know what? I was at a meeting, I'm seeing Natavia Smith. She's a teacher, I'm a teacher. And she became diamonds in the first 25 days. Like, if she is a teacher and she became diamond within the first 25 days, she got a beautiful kid. You know what? She can do it, I can do it as well. Yeah, the social proof. If we got Danielle Monique Davis doing testimonial, how she's a lawyer and how she became gold within the first 24 hours whilst being a lawyer, and I'm a lawyer and sitting in the room, that actually means if she can do it, I can do it as well. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? So the first event is just for social proof. And it has to be within your first week, in my opinion. Now, eventually, that person getting also the first paychecks, right? The good thing about Iyovia, we're paying bi-weekly. Every week you can get paid if you want, right? Do the right things, get the customers in, bam, you get paid, right? Now, once you get paid, does it valid system? Yes or yes? 100%. You got to believe, and within your first 7, 11 days, first 2 weeks, you actually see motion. You're actually a goal right now. You've got, what is it, 10, 12 people in your organization, and you have actually withstood the first, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks. And eventually go to the bam, next step. You are actually gold. You're at the last plateau, solid ground. Chances, if you, within your first 30 days, turn gold, get paid, being to training, get your mindset trained, get some skill set, get tools in order for you to understand how this business works. You see culture, you see people like Tia on the stage training people, coming with the quotes, all the nuggets, all the gems. Probably within your first 30 days, you got enough proof that it might work for you. Yes or yes. If you guys understand what I'm saying, can I get a 7 in the chat, please? Right? Now, this is important because you are going to see that people are going to fall in that black hole if you actually delay the process between exposure and between leadership development, between the combo lock and solid ground. You are going to see challenges if people do not follow these steps successfully. That's a fact. I've seen it all over again throughout the years. Now, eventually, the quality of leader is about the quality of the leaders they produce. The quality of a leader is about the quality of leaders they produce. Now, I like the 3 legs, right? Because eventually, that's how you build a solid organization. I always prefer to just build 3 legs straight. I work with everyone. Someone like you, do you work with your first leg first and then with your second leg? And then, no, I work with everyone. Throw out there, I work with everyone. Because the way I work, guys, is the more energy you give to me, the more energy I give to you. You take 1 step, I take 1 step. You take 2 steps, I take 2 steps. You take no step, bam, I'm out, right? 3 strikes and you're out. But more important than this is you have to make sure that those steps with the bridge, you teach your people that you are actually getting into your business. Everyone that works with me personally, everyone I'm working with personally, understands this concept walking over the bridge within the first 30 days. They need to understand. You need to be educated on this. Once taught is twice learned. What do I mean by that? Every time when I enroll someone else in the business, I make sure that the person that get enrolled is seeing every single step of the people that he is enrolling. I am not going to enroll Samia's people. If Samia, for instance, gets Danielle in the business, I'm making sure that Samia is making sure that she understands how to make customers with Danielle, right? If I am getting Cameron or Jade into the business, I'm making sure that someone else is watching when I'm launching Jade. There's no way that Bria Temple started in my business and nobody left or right is learning how she get launched. There should always be an element of learning. Once taught is twice learned. The moment you teach someone else, you get to learn as well, and the person who's getting the information is learning as well. That's how you produce real duplication, right? Now, how much gold am I producing? You need to track records to break records. I make sure, guys, that every time when I go over the bridge with people, that they understand what they're doing. I track every single step. And if you track every single step, your people are tracking those steps as well. And that is actually important because you want to create a culture of tracking your business. How can you understand your business if you don't even know the numbers coming into your business? It's impossible. It's impossible. You need to understand how many people are doing lunches, how many people are getting customers on a daily basis in order for you to break records, right? Now, guys, take a screenshot. This is basically the bridge. Now, you guys may already have systems in place, right? I'm not gonna jeopardize your system that you're using right now, but it's what I've used for a very long time, right? I added a little bit. It's not looking as smooth as it was before, but I call it the 30-day game plan checklist. Now, what does it mean? Every time when a new IBO starts, right? Let's say, for instance, we got Christopher Butts, right? Hope you're doing well, Christopher. Christopher gets started. I'm going to discuss the 30-day game plan with Christopher. Christopher, within 30 days, I'm going to make sure that you understand what it is, what we're doing here, right? Write down your name, write down your ID, write down your upline, and the end date game of your first 30 days. If you start the 1st of March, I'm going to put down the 1st of March to the 1st of April, right? I discussed the 30-day game plan, but check the mark. I register in the system. You guys probably have some systems in place. The moment you got any systems, but immediately let's tick off the box. I explain and activate the bundle. Now, and again, while I'm enrolling Christopher, I'm making sure that Angel Hernandez is there as well, and he needs to see how I'm doing this whole checklist with Christopher Butts. I explain and activate the IBO kit, check. I make it nameless right there with my new IBO and check. Because if you're sitting down with someone and you're making sure you're checking things, he understands the urge and the pressure. Oh, I need to check as much boxes as possible. Does it make sense? Then you plan the first online meeting, the PBR or the event. You plan it, put it in the person's agenda in his phone. Okay, let's see if your agenda is full right now, and it take tomorrow. That's the day that we need to be at the event as soon as possible. What is as soon as possible, ladies and gentlemen? As soon as possible is, bam, within the first 5 days. Okay? Eventually, we invite the name list to the events. That same moment, whilst I'm there, the first few people I'm gonna call with my new person. Let's say, for instance, I got Mike, right? Mike's my new IBO. With Mike, I'm gonna call, let's say, Aaron, right? We together are gonna call Aaron. I'm his upline. I'm gonna invite Aaron. Obviously, Mike is gonna call Aaron first. And Mike is gonna tell, hey Aaron, I just got started with a new business. I'm extremely excited about what I've seen. I just came back from an amazing event, and I'm working with successful people. And they basically asked me, Aaron, who are my most ambitious and exciting people that I have in my network. And your name actually popped up as my top 5 people, Aaron. I'm like, oh yeah, thank you, Mike. I said, well, as a matter of fact, I'm sitting next to a very successful individual. Her name is Tia, right? And I actually told Tia about you, Aaron. And I would like to give Tia on the phone right now so she can tell a little more about what it is we're doing. And eventually Tia pick up the phone and say, hey Aaron, nice to meet you. Great to hear about you. I've heard amazing things about you, Aaron. Right? Aaron, as a matter of fact, we don't really have long on the phone right now, but Mike just came to an event and he's so excited. And I asked Mike, who are the most exciting people in your environment? And he mentioned you. Literally, as you just said, he mentioned you. Now listen up. It's very difficult for me, Aaron, to explain you through the phone what it is what we're doing. Because it's quite impossible for you to explain how a strawberry tastes if you've never tasted strawberry. I know you're very with me on that, right? Well, Aaron, listen up, right? Upcoming Saturday between 2 and 4 p.m. in the Hilton Hotel Miami, we have an official introduction event, and Mike is able to bring 2 special guests with him. We'll put a reservation on you and make sure that you are his VIP guest. Do you have something to do Saturday between 2 and 4 p.m., Aaron? No? Perfect. I'm going to reserve your spot right now. Can you do 2 things for me, Aaron? Please, do not come late and don't cancel. Thank you very much. The coffee is waiting for you. Bam, hung up. That's how I invite people to an event. I have not told Aaron anything. I just create excitement and make sure he feels special because he's going to come to a VIP event and meet successful people. Guys, does that make sense? 100%. Right? Now, I'll do that with the first few people on this 100 name list, right? Now, this is important because now Mike, who just got started, now sees, wow, these people are not playing. Tia is my mentor, and she's helping me immediately getting me some results. This is easy peasy. I just started today, but I'm already seeing the people are coming to the event. Wow, easy, easy, right? And that's what you want. You want to create confidence with your new IVLs, especially at the first early stage. I'm going to explain later on why. Now, eventually, we add them to the WhatsApp group and the Iyovia social media platforms, right? Because after that, you got in the system, your first people got called, you got that approved. That's not a conversation for another time, but you got your people on social media. Bam. Now they feel part of the family. Welcome, everyone. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you here, Aaron. Good to have you here, Mike. Oh, amazing. Yay. Fires in the chat. Bam, you feel welcome, right? Now, eventually, action. Re-refer to customers and get your package for free. Immediately, when you got someone in the business, right? Let's say I got Maxwell. Maxwell just got started, just got launched Maxwell in the business. I immediately tell Maxwell, well, Maxwell, you know what's even funny? You will get excited today, right? You were so excited. Let me tell you, this is the icing on the cake. Let's get 2 customers as soon as possible because you get your package for free. What? I tell you, I kid you not. If you get today 2 people in the business, 2 customers that are going to use our products, you get your package for free. Check the box. Eventually, register for the international event. It could be the next big convention. It could be Miami, it could be one in Nice in France, but you make sure that person on the spot register for the event. Yeah, but I just spent money on. Yo, what do you think it is? If you started a restaurant, Maxwell, you think you're just gonna just pay for the building and that's it? People just start coming. What are they gonna do? Sit on the floor? No, you have to buy chairs. You have a menu card. You have to invest in your restaurant in order for you to actually have a successful restaurant. Yes, yes. So it's important to understand that people are looking and taking this business serious because if you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it will pay you like what? Well, guess what? Hobbies is not paid. It costs you money to be a part of a hobby. Right? So make sure you understand that being part of your business is also being part registering of an international community. Now, not action. Refer 3 more customers and earn 300 monthly because then you get silver. But yeah, we are not going for second place. We go for the first place, which is gold. So immediately we talk about getting 10 to 12 customers and become gold and earn $600 a month. This has to happen within your first 30 days. Now, as you guys can see, I also directly immediately tell them, listen to YouTube on Building a Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. Listen on YouTube to The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Listen on YouTube to Making a Shift by Darren Hardy. These are videos on YouTube that I've actually seen numerous times because these are the ones you want to make sure that your people in the very first days understand how network marketing works. Because the moment they are going to leave that venue, they're going to leave that meeting, the birds are going to pick them. The birds are going to pick on their head. They're going to try and demotivate you. The parents are going to tell them, what have you done? Your friends saying, oh, you're part of a pyramid scheme. And bam, before you know, you're out. Guys, if you do not take action after the first 24 hours, 25% is going down. Every 24 hours, 25% of the motivation is going down. If you leave someone for 4 days unattended, rest assured the person's out. Right? So in the first few days, that individual needs to get as much excitement and information, and he needs to get busy. And I'm going to explain you why he needs to get busy, guys. He needs to get busy because if he does not get busy, he's going to find time to doubt. He's going to look left and right. He's going to find time to think, speak with his parents, speak with his people, his friends, all the people that are going to tell him and judging that he's buying, that he's, buying to another market company. Oh, you're part of the pyramid scheme. Oh, you did. I've been there, guys. It actually pays off to build this fast. Because if you build it slow, they've got all the time to start whining and crying and all that. We don't have time for that. If you build it fast, before they know, they already got paid. Before they even understand how the compensation plan works, they got paid already, and there's nobody that can tell them this is not working for you. Because yeah, well, I got paid. No, you shouldn't do that. Well, I got paid. I got my first $300. And that's why it's so important to work fast so that you get social proof, so people get confidence in the system. Okay? Now, what if someone cannot keep up with the pace? This is what I call a farm system. How many people in the chat, type in the chat, how many people have experienced, be like, I'm not sure, they don't respond to the chat, they are very, very slow. You know what? I'll get home and then I'll call my people. I'm gonna make the calls. I'm just gonna think about it. I'm like, nah, man, they are energy drainers. It's okay, you can still fool them, you can chill with them, but you need to understand that they cannot be part of the society. They cannot be part of the winning team because we work fast, right? You're holding us up. But don't worry, I still love you, but I'm going to put you in a farm system. What? Yeah, a farm system. What is a farm system? Well, just go there. I'm going to feed you with books. I'm going to feed you with personal development. Don't worry. You can always call me, but you're not on my speed dial. But I'll just feed you with all the information, right? So we just so. We water them. We water them very, 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 very slowly. Water them, but make sure you do not chase them all the time because that energy that you're using to chase them, you can literally put that in someone else that is at the beginning of the bridge that needs exposure and all those steps in order for them to come to the solid ground. To the what? To the solid ground, right? Those are the people that need your energy, not average Joe that wants to be in a farm system. Doesn't make sense, okay? So very important. Love them, nurture them. Could be your brother, could be your sister, could be your cousin, could be your best friend, as a matter of fact. But make sure that they keep them in a farm system. And you might see that in the next coming years, they see all or weeks or months, they see all these promotions and they are ready. They are ready. They're like, you know what? Aaron is in the farm system, like, yo, I've seen all this promotion, crazy. I see Nikita is getting ranked up. I'm like, oh wow. I see Lachey is getting ranked up. Yo, I'm back, guys. And then you welcome back in the team again. No worries, man. I feed you. Because if you do not put people on the farm system, they're going to feel used. They're gonna feel like you just use them, just get the bonus out of it. And once they're not working on your pace, you don't treat them right anymore, right? You don't want that because sometimes it might be a good opportunity, even for them, for them at the right time. And if you treat them right by putting them in a farm system, they might even come back and crush it. I've experienced this numerous times, 100%. Okay. Now, a leader is the one who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way, right? I'm not gonna tell you go there. It's we are going there. There's a difference between the boss and the leader. I told you guys already from the beginning, right? So it's very important that you understand that you have to pave the way because eventually, if you pave the way, you know the way. You're a travel guide, another type of agent. So people are gonna follow you because they feel like, hey, I can win this person. I can work with Tia. I know for a fact that if I work with Tia, I'm gonna win this war, right? Like you need people with a strong backbone. And guess what? Everyone got the backbone. So that means you don't have to pay for it. So you want to work with winners, not with victims. Victors over victims. That victim mentality, like, yeah, well, no. You want to work with people that know what it is to win, that are actually busy every single day, waking up and immediately working on their goals. That's the type of people I want to be surrounded with. Not with the people that are trying to like slow the pace. No. It doesn't work for me. I got goals. I got goals, ladies and gentlemen. I got goals that I need to achieve as soon as possible. And if you're in my way, I cannot use you. You are not fulfilling or serving my purpose. That is what it is. Get out. Well, then you got a ninja trick. Yes, it's easier to build fast than to build slow. I told you guys from the beginning already. You need to build fast, and especially in the very first 30 days, because if you do it in your first 30 days, I can assure you guys that people won't even understand what it is what they're doing, but they get paid. And you got no time to start thinking about negative shit. If you get gold in a very short period of time, that's the standard. It's going to be their standard. Oh, gold within your first 2 weeks, within your first 24 hours, but maximum 30 days. Because you need to get paid as soon as possible in order for you to get social proof, in order for you to get really confident about the system that's working for you. Does it make sense? Yes or yes? Okay, now call to action, guys. I'm going to get to the end of this call. Set up a grand opening with your mentor. Wherever your opening is right now, Tia, call her up. I said, Tia, I've seen this presentation, I've seen this training today, the Gold Factory, and I am ready, right? I am ready to tell me what a system I need to work with you right now. I'm gonna reshape my goals. I want to get out of the farm system. I've been in the farm system for too long. Tia, tell me, 2025, my statement year. 2024 I was lacking. 2023 I was lacking. But 2025 is my statement year. Tia, tell me what's up. I want to work. Tell me. I'm gonna let me be guided by you again. Tell me. I'm gonna be 100% coachable for the next 30 days. I'm gonna exactly do what you tell me because I understand, Tia, that it takes 21 days to create a habit and take 90 days to build a lifestyle. I repeat, it takes 21 days to create a habit and takes 90 days to create a lifestyle. I'll make sure that I'm devoting my energy and my time to you, my upline, my mentor, whoever that may be, because I'm ready. I understand that we are already in the month of March, right? The first quarter is already gone. I cannot get it back. And I also understand the power of the compound effect, which means if I'm doing something right now, it means the next 90 days I'll see the results. If you already are gold, call your MPOMs. Now, what is MPOM? MPOM is new possible opportunity for momentum. Those are people that you know that actually have the opportunity to really bam, crash it, right? Those are the ones that you need to call right now, straight after this call, and tell them, yo, let's go, right? But you guys need to understand 2025 is different. I get that you guys have seen all these challenges in the past couple of years. You guys have been through it. You guys have been through the mud, to the stones, and all of that stuff. But you need to understand this: life is not playing. What do I mean by that? The universe and God, they know if you want it or not. You cannot fool those. You cannot fool God. You cannot fool whether you really want it or not. You can fool yourself, maybe. You can look into the mirror and say, I want this, right? But you cannot fool God. If you really, really want it, you can get it. But I can assure you guys, this is the year that you can really determine whether you want to be successful or not based on the vehicle you are using. I've been using my network marketing vehicle for the past decade, guys, and that's always brought me joy. It has brought me obviously challenges, blessings, lessons, a lot of things, but I always came better out of it. Always. It has been the best industry so far. I've tried everything. I've got businesses, literally. I'm very Googleable. You can find everything about me. I've got my business. I've got real estate. I've got my own credit card business. I've got a lot of stuff going on, right? But there is no other business, no other industry that fulfills me like this business. I love network marketing with the core of my heart. I like to work with people. Sometimes people can be very, very fascinating, but I like working with people. I like seeing people grow. I like people getting the results because of you, Tia, because of you, Dani, because of you, Nino, because of you, Lachey, because of you, Maxwell. I saw your training once, at the convention or at the presentation or at Zoom call, and I was so, so excited. And because of you, I am the person I am today. You might not know it, Maxwell, or you might not know it, Aaron Divine, but I saw your presentation, I saw your testimony, and I got so inspired. And because of that, I am living the life that I want to live right now. Well, guys, I can tell you one thing. I had a lot of good things in my life. I've got a lot of, achievements in my life, but nothing fulfills my heart. If someone calls me up and says, Dani, I just wanted to call you. Maybe I even quit the business a couple of years ago. I just wanted to call you to make sure I'm doing very well. I've got a very, very beautiful family. I've got a good running business. But because of you, during that convention a couple of years ago, saw what you did on stage over there, it really touched me. And because of that, I've bettered my life. I just wanted to make sure that you know that you're responsible for that. And that's the reason why I'm calling you right now. I can tell you for a fact, ladies and gentlemen, if someone tells me that in the morning, that actually gets me waking up and get me very, very excited. So that's eventually what this business is about, making an impact. We can all make money. You can make money left and right, right? That's the difference between a leader and a recruiter. Recruiting people into your business and you're making money, just getting bonuses, getting commissions. You can just sell cars, right? But developing a strong group of gold leaders People that understand the business, people that understand emotional intelligence, people understand the power of residual income. And because they are making money, you are making money as well on a monthly base, year after year, month after month, day after day, because you've created a solid system and a solid culture of winners. And now you're getting paid not because everyone is losing, but because everyone is winning, and people are understanding that they're moving forward. And listen up, guys, people do not quit because they're not making money. People quit because they're not seeing progress. I repeat, people do not quit because they're not making money. People quit because they're not seeing progress. And guess what? You are responsible for that as their upline. Yes, you. Not you, you. You are responsible if they are not seeing the results that they should be, because you did not take them either to the farm system or not over the bridge step by step. You're responsible, right? And I like to take that responsibility on my shoulders. But I can tell you know what? I've got a lot of people that I've mentored and coached to become multimillionaires in this industry because they have listened to what I got to say. Were they all my friends? No. People probably literally dislike me the way I really, try to mentor them or coach them because I'm a tough coach, right? But eventually, I don't want to make friends. I want to make business partners who are making results, getting results, and making money because eventually they'll turn into friends. Why? Because I actually showed them the hard way. If you work hard, your life will be easy. If you work easy, your life will be very hard. Now, guess what I want? I want to have a very easy and soft life, right? In order to get that, you need to work hard and smash it right now. Work 30 days, see after the first 30 days, you're after sorry, you work 90 days, you'll see the compounds after 90 days, and over the years, you can still reap the benefits from everything we've done so far. And that is about this business, what I like so much, right? Working right now, getting the results, get paid what the value you're bringing to the marketplace. You don't get paid for someone else telling you what you're worth. I don't like that. I like to be paid for what I'm worth. I know I'm worth millions and millions of dollars, right? I like to be paid millions and millions of dollars. Why? Because I like it. That being said, I want to give it back to our superstar, Miss Tia. Tia, I really appreciate you. You know, you've been so far for the company a real asset. I know because I've been looking. Obviously, I do my research, so I know what you've been doing. Obviously, in NASA, I I've checked your story. I've obviously speaking to other leaders as well, so I know more about you than you think I do. As seeing what it is that you've been doing, for the company, you're really valuable for the company, and I know that a lot of people are either reaching you already out right now and telling you that hey, because of you, Tia, I'm living the life that I want to live right now. Because of you, Tia, I feel so comfortable right now, and I'm knowing that by keep following you, I'm gonna have that life that I'm really aiming for. And I know for a fact here that the industry, not only in Iyovia, but the industry is gonna learn and hear more from Tia Bolden. And that being said again, very grateful to be on this call, even though it was very, very early. But if Tia calls me, whether she calls me at 4 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning, you have to pick up, man. She's a superstar. Thank
Wow.
you.
Danny, thank you. Can we just get a thank you, Danny? Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny, in the chat box. The man is up late hours. He's got kids to take to school in 10 minutes, and he's up stewing our brains off. Danny, thank you for your intentionality. Thank you for the love you gave us. And can we all just put a gold is done? The best way to pay Danny back is you going and hitting gold, you going and creating goals, you following this method and putting things forward to make him proud. If you all want to hear more of Danny, see more of Danny, he will be in Miami, Florida on April 19th. Let's make sure we have our tickets. Let's show up and show out and do what needs to be done in the name of Iyovia to make this thing possible. Thank you all for staying up, for being here. Danny, we'll be sure to call on you as we need you in any way we can serve you. We are more than willing. Thank you for all you do, and let's take it to the top, fam.
100%. Thank you, guys. You too.